Welcome back. So today the rear subframe goes in. Welcome back to Smoking Retros. So today we're focusing on the rear subframe. We're going to get it in. We've got to cut out most of the boot of the Metro, so we're going to get right into that once we've had a cup of tea. So what we're going to be doing today is taking these two subframes. So this one here is the MDF subframe that's going in. The one behind it is the original torsion bar. So basically just sat and the wheels sort of went down on their own weight really. So today we're going to chop the back off the one, chop the front off the other one, and make them together somehow. So what we've just done is we've just marked out where the wheel centre is, so on its bottommost travel. Now we're just going to carry on marking it up so we get it right. So when we actually take it off and cut the other one up, that it actually fits right. So, as you can see, we went through the whole effort of making sure that we had everything right. So we've got the wheel centres where it goes to the brake drum on the outside and everything we needed to make sure that this one, when it's in place, is actually in the right place. Because obviously if it's not, it's going to crab down the road or it's just going to be completely useless. So we spent a bit of time marking it and getting it all central and making sure that we had everything in place with the old arm and the old rear subframe. And then we've moved it and started putting the new one in. So, just off camera there, we've just pulled the rear torsion bars off there, yeah, the rear basic arms off the old subframe. I didn't film it, it's not the most exciting thing and we weren't the gentlest, so I'm sorry I didn't film it. And now basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut all the metal we don't need off that torsion bar, bolt it back in, and then basically from that we can take our final measurements to where we're going to cut the new subframe and where we're going to cut the floor out and that. So we're going to crack on with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the boot floor out piece by piece, so we know we're not cutting too much, and so we can basically, as we're cutting out, we'll brace it up Right, so we're just going to cut the tyre well out, and then once that's out of the way, we'll work from there. So, some of you have probably realised that that's the suspension mount, where the hydroelastics or the replacements are going to fit. I found out, because it was driving me potty, that the MGFT, the later model of this subframe, actually goes on coilovers. So I've managed to save a bit of money, so I don't need these top strut mounts. So as some of you just saw, I just cut the tops off the struts, or basically where the hydroelastics sit. Don't worry, I've not lost my mind. I actually found out that MGFT subframes are identical to the ones I've put in, so I can adjust them to take the coilover kits that are actually on them cars. So I've saved myself a ton of money, thank God, and I've actually managed to source it that are actually genuine parts. I have to change the towers on the rear ones. The front ones are identical, they literally just bolt in the same way as the other ones do, they're just on a much better bush. So I'm 100%, give it 99% sure that I will have a Metro on MDF subframes with MGFT coilovers. So we're just pulling all the auxiliary, it's basically like a torsion bar in a way, off the rear subframe so I can get and cut all the stuff out of my way that's in my way to cut the other bits off. Let's get cracking. The front basically mount where all the mountings are on the front of this rear subframe all cut off. Nice and square due to my stepdad's masking tape method, so it should be nice and square. So now we're going to throw it under the car, lift it up and see where it goes. So, what I've just done is I've just cleaned up basically where we're going to weld or tack in some strengthening bars. We will use the back one actually as the mounting point for basically the whole subframe, but before we cut it out we've got to put them in. So I've just cleaned it up now. We're going to I'm going to put them in now, and we'll tack them up. So we'll be back to you when I've done that. So, as you've just seen, we've just tacked in the two basic cross members. I think the rear one, well, they probably might both stay actually, give it a bit more rigidity, as we are cutting the roof off. So we're going to move everything out of the way, drop it down, and cut a slot out. So, basically cut some blocks, just use them as angles. So we're going to basically use these to mount the rear subframe to the existing, basically, chassis member. So, these are them plates. So, with pure brute force and a little bit, and stupidity, we've managed to actually cut a hole out. Do you want to have a look at the hole? Let's have a look at the hole. Yeah. That was a complete car this morning, and now there's big holes in it. Yeah, so we had to use a bit of a brutality. But it seems to have worked. We've now got a hole where the subframe should now fit, so let's try it. It's been a long day. I think we're going to call it that for a day. We've managed to get it into a place where it's actually going to fit, which I'm quite happy with. We've cut a fair bit out of the car. I've no doubt there'll be a bit more cut out of it by next weekend, and probably a bit more the weekend after. But I'm quite happy with what we've done, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the videos as we're going along, and I'm super glad that you're all joining me on this journey, building this mad little pickup. Thank you very much. So if you do like the videos, drop a like, leave me a comment and subscribe. Thank you very much. See you next time.